AFL finals, mate. How good?
Podcast, we paid the bills.
Yes, hello, here we are again. Good morning, good afternoon, happy weekend, wherever you are listening from. My name is Robbie Von. This is Nick Ristovic. Mate, we're recording on a Thursday. Thursday night footy is back. Are you excited?
Hallelujah, mate. I'll tell you what, it's been a bit of a wait, hasn't it? 11 days since the last game.
And you know what? Probably about 13 weeks since the last Thursday night game, and that gets me pumped, man. How good's Thursday night footy?
Oh, mate, it just makes the day go so much quicker, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? It makes the week go quicker.
Yeah,
it's great.
Something to look forward to. Just break up the weekend and one more day at work to follow up.
Speaking of slow weeks, mate, how was the wash up for you? We had a few beers on Saturday night, a couple of Guinnesses.
Yeah, for those that don't know, a few milestones for Robbie this week. With the birthday over the weekend, we jumped down Northbridge there and had a few frothies, didn't we?
Not bad at all, actually. You're in good form.
Yeah, I was not too bad. I don't have too many beers these days on the weekend, mate. Only with the footy with the young one. But, managed to get out and pulled myself up at a reasonable hour, didn't we? Father's Day the next day.
Yeah, Father's Day. That's true. How the hell did you get permission to get out and about on a Saturday night, especially when there was Father's Day the next day?
I racked up a few brownie points, mate, at home before we headed out. So, no, I was home in a reasonable hour. It's probably a good thing because I could have kicked on there big time, big fella.
I feel very proud that you used your brownie points on me. So, thank you, man. How was your first Father's Day?
It was a real treat, buddy.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, we went down to see the family down south and had the crew there for lunch at the Treendale Farm Hotel, if you haven't been there.
Beautiful. They won steak sandwich of the year for the regional
I dabbled too.
leg.
I
Did you?
indulged. Yeah,
How'd
it
it
was an
go?
absolute treat. Oh, the onion jam was a real treat there, mate. Really good. It was packed down there. It's just hundreds of people. They've got a nice sports bar area set up outside. So
cleaned up Father's Day.
Yeah, it didn't do too badly. Got a few
Trained up.
nice socks and usual Father's Day stuff. So good to join the fraternity of fathers out there, man.
Oh, beautiful. Maybe we should have a chat to the Treendale Hotel. We've given them a plug. Maybe they could get on board for a sponsorship with all those steakies they're selling.
Yeah, even a couple of complimentary steak sangers and go straight with it, big fella.
It'd be pretty nice, actually. All right, let's send some emails out. Let's see what we can do there. What else is going on, man?
Oh, mate, it's just been one of those weird lulls of a week with no footy. I feel like I've been a lot of research for the potty and I've been stuck right into the racing, really.
Yes.
That's been the focus, hasn't it? A big Group 1 over the weekend at Caulfield, which we'll touch on a little bit when we get into our bets. But apart from that, mate, just trying to get out for a fish.
Oh, yeah? How's that going?
A bit of hurricane sort of conditions out there.
Oh, yeah, true. Geez, you're up against it, aren't you? You've got a young baby at home, so you're probably not allowed out or even want to get out that often. And then when your time comes, it's raining, so you can't get out on the water anyway.
Mate, exactly. It's a classic. The weather's absolutely bloody atrocious on the weekend. Monday, sun shining, you're at work. So hopefully Sunday I'll get out there for a fish. But yeah, what about you, mate? How was your week?
It's rough. Week was very good, mate. I've just been working away. My parents have been in town. They're from country Victoria.
Yes.
So we had them from last week before my birthday. They were here Monday night, Tuesday night as well. So that was really nice. Some good catch-ups, a few beers with Dad, good chats with Mum, and, just spending time, family time. It was beautiful.
You're a big man for premieres too. Did I see the wicked launch there, mate? They've seen you been active on the socials.
Mate, it's not sport, it's theatre. But I tell you what, brilliant. So Wicked, the musical's coming to Perth, I think it's in December. And I went to like a little media preview. And so they had the three main characters. I've never seen the show, so I don't know much about it, but I know the green-faced lady's Alphaba.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, she sung to a group of, I'm going to say like 70 of us. And amazing. You know how you'd see like a Whitney Houston or a Celine Dion or something like that, just like punching out the vocals like on those real high notes? Yeah. That's what she was doing right in front of us. It was great.
Little intimate show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What a treat.
It was a treat, mate. If they had odds on who was the best... Who was the B&F out of the Wicked people? There was three of them. I would have been paying a lot. Alpha.
Yep.
Or Alphaba would have been short odds. She was magnificent.
Okay, yeah.
She lived up to the hype.
Nah, look, I'm probably
So
a
there you
great
go.
show. Coming to Perth soon, obviously.
December.
Yeah, beauty, mate.
We might do a potty from there.
I think so.
From
the
lobby of the Crown Theatre.
Talking punting while they're punching out a few classics.
That's right,
We'll
mate.
see how we go.
Well, before we get into it, mate, just reminding everyone you can catch us on the socials if you ever want to get bets in and all that sort of stuff. TikTok and Instagram, Pump Pals Pod. Also, Gmails as well, pumppalspodcast@gmail.com. And also, stream us, 5-star us, bell us, follow us, whatever you do on your favourite streaming service. Make sure you're on board so when each episode comes through, it just pings to your phone. It's great.
Getting plenty of tips coming through from those listening too, which is an absolute treat. So make sure you get them in.
Yeah, we've had some goodies, man. It's been good having them through on the socials, and I've noticed a few people actually comment through the Spotify stream as well. So that was really handy. Like, I think that punches the pod out a bit more, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely get on Spotify there and drop a few comments with some tips.
100%.
We love them. Nice, easy to pick them up for the show. And you can get them in early Thursday once the teams start to take shape, and we'll punch them out in the potty.
You certainly can. Now, let's get into your bets from the weekend because you had a very up and down time. Give us a bit of a rundown, mate.
Mate, yeah, it was probably a nothing weekend in terms of balance. Didn't really move for me. So, obviously, the rugby bet was huge. The underdog bet we took, either Australia or New Zealand to win in the rugby. It got me tuned in, didn't it?
That was good.
Yeah, Aussies just got over the line by a point there.
1 point.
Late little conversion there with the penalty and, knocked off Argentina. So the $20 we had on, $60 return. Obviously, we're investing $100 a week. So that was a good start. And then, mate, the racing. Didn't I ham it up last week?
Oh, I know. You were right behind Sassy Boom.
Oh, Sassy Boom, Sassy Bust, mate. No good. Absolutely shocking. So, look, I turn on the races Saturday morning. Everyone's spruiking Sassy Boom as well. So I thought I was on to a good thing. Blake Shin obviously is in reasonable form, but he just butchered it, mate. We don't like to blame the jockey. But he parks it about 6 wide going around the bend.
Oh, no.
It's almost in the crowd on the other side of the fence.
Oh, no.
6 wide train, tries to have its customary kick down the home straight and just had done too much work early. So a bit butchered. There were a lot of negative comments there on Twitter. So I don't like to jump on and smash the performance of those jockeys. But yeah, it didn't even place in the end. So it was a bust, the old racing bet there. And then we went straight into the Memsey. So race 1, Sassy Boom, and then went straight to the Memsey.
Good race this.
Oh, it was an epic race, wasn't it? Did you tune in?
I did. I had it on my little phone, on the little screen.
It was a bit of Sky One action on Tap Touch, yeah. It was an epic race, and pretty much the way we previewed it last week is pretty much how it played out. So Pride of Jenny went hard early. Usually she goes out by about 8 or 10 lengths traditionally, and that's a catch me if you can sort of situation. Whereas it was a different race pattern. She sort of did lead, but she was only 3 or 4 ahead at the turn. I thought she's vulnerable here. So we said that it happened to Potty last week. Mr. Brightside was ready to chase her down. They all pretty much chased her down in the first 100 of the straight. She sort of went backwards a little bit, needed more of a fitness run, I think, coming in, or she'll get better in her prep. But yeah, Mr. Brightside looked the winner, mate. I was up and about. I had 40 on the nose. And unfortunately, Enver Jusevic secured his first Group 1 with Pinstripe. So that was an epic story.
It's a good story, isn't it? And Pinstripe, a very good horse.
If you're going to get beaten, you'd rather get beaten by the roughie, I think, at $14. And, see him in the mounting yard there celebrating. Was enormous, but yeah, $40 back for second with the bonus bet there to play around with this week on the racing. So not a bad result.
Can I just say credit to you as well, because on last week's pod you were talking about that race and you said that when Pride of Jenny and Mr. Brightside are both coming back from a spell, Mr. Brightside has such a better record, and as it turned out, you're exactly right. Ended up running second, didn't get that first, but a good run and much better than what Pride of Jenny did. So very well done there, Nico.
Thanks, mate. And I guess, you look at the way Mr. Brightside finished up last prep. Everyone thought we'd seen the best of him. I think it was just at the end of his spell.
Yep.
So, end of his prep there. So, you look at Pride of Jenny, everyone's going to jump off now. She was the $2.70 favourite in this race. Don't rule her out. 2 runs under her belt, as I said last week, and she'll come good. So stick with them.
I like that. Mate, my bets, I had a bit of success over the weekend. I didn't have any big wins, but you might remember I went with Manchester City to beat West Ham at $1.40 because Oasis had announced their comeback last week. The Gallagher brothers both love Manchester City, so I thought, you know what? And they won 3-1. So I took $42 home from that. I had 30 on it.
Comfortable win, 3-1. Beautiful.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Oscar Piastri, I told you to place at $1.70.
This has been going viral.
Yeah.
Everyone at work's been saying the same thing. Those listening in, this is a nice little trend we're building here with Piastri, isn't it?
It's very nice with Piastri. So he ended up coming second, which was absolutely epic. Beat his teammate Lando Norris and just came in second there behind Charles Leclerc. $51 for that. I had another 30 on that. I took the South Africa, the rugby bet same as you, so New Zealand or Australia to beat their opponents, South Africa and Argentina respectively. So that was good. I had another 20 on that. And then I took Tone's EPL tip, his hot EPL tip. Wasn't so hot, wasn't far off. He only missed one leg. Werder Bremen let us down in the end.
Didn't score? It was over 2.5 goals, wasn't it, that leg?
Yeah. So they didn't score, I don't think. So that was a bit disappointing. But I came out... What's that? $111, $153. So I made about $50.
Good work, mate.
High five.
I love that. We've got to celebrate. And what I did like about it is often you're looking for sort of $2.50, $3 for odds. I liked how you banked a couple $1.50, $1.70 there with Piastri and that Man City bet. So you're just going to make a little bit of a profit there and then you can play with a bit.
Exactly right.
So it's not always about chasing the big odds. You can multi some of those up to $1.40, $1.50 and find sort of that, $2.50, $3 for a pretty safe bet. So good punting, mate.
Thank you,
good
mate.
To be back in the green, eh?
It is great to be back in the green, actually. I feel very good about myself. Okay?
We'll have to have another beer after the show to celebrate, mate.
Now, mate, that's gold. That's gold. All right, mate, we'll move on to Friday night's game. Depending on when you're listening to it, it could be tonight's game. See, that's the funny part. A lot of people will be listening to this tomorrow.
Yep.
AKA Friday, and they'll be judging us on what we said about the Port and Geelong game. But that's all right.
We open ourselves up to that sort of criticism, mate.
That we do. So, Bulldogs and Hawthorn. This is a biggie. They're saying this is the box office game of the round.
Well, it's got to be, mate. I mean, the odds suggest so too. Bulldogs favourites at $1.70, Hawks at $2.10. I don't know what the Hawks ceiling is.
That's the big question.
There's so many unknowns about them. Obviously, they have a very experienced list going into the finals. A couple of veterans in there, and Gunston and a few others that have been there and done it. But you feel like the Dogs have been there. You feel like many of those players, Liberatore, Bontempelli, the guys that have been around for many years there at the Dogs, probably give them an edge. But I'm going to stay completely out of this game in terms of punting. Either team could win.
Yes, I think you're right there, and it is a tough one to tip. Personally, I think I'm going to go with the Hawks because if you look at betting for all games, there is an obvious favourite in every game, but without doubt, there is going to be an upset this weekend. It's happened every round of this year. There's been at least one upset, and I don't think the first round of finals is going to be any different. There's going to be an upset. It's going to be the Hawks, and they're going to beat the Bulldogs this weekend.
Wowza. He's put it on record.
Yep. Sorry to my buddy Conts, by the way, who's a Bulldogs diehard, but that's what's going to happen.
I guess I can see the argument. I guess where I think maybe the Hawks might be exposed to the back line.
Yep.
And that's going to be the case with any team who plays the Bulldogs at the moment. Jamari Ugle-Hagan, Norton, Darcy, they're all big fellas.
It's a good point.
And then you've got Sicily, who probably has a bit of a suspect shoulder. He's been playing forward a little bit. So I think, you can absolutely mount a case for the Hawks, but if they're going to get beaten, it's going to be through those big key forwards for the Dogs who will be tough to cover. And that's what the Hawks will be looking at in terms of trade period, trying to bring in some key experience, key to position players down back, I think. It's probably their only weakness at the moment.
Yep, that's a great call. Mate, for best bets, I'm going Giant Newcomb, 25 plus at $1.76. He's on fire at the moment. He's
flying, isn't he? Last 4 rounds, he's cleared that easily. So
coming off 35 in the last round of the year from memory. So
yep.
I think that's going to happen. And I got a bit of a trivia question for you. It's the battle of the backmen here.
Yeah.
So Liam Jones, obviously, of the Bulldogs.
Yep.
James Sicily of the Hawks. Who's kicked more career goals?
Oh, I reckon Jones started as a forward. But it's the obvious answer.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, Sicily's fresh in the memory. He kicked a few weeks ago to sink the Dockers. So.
Yeah, true. Let me just tell you this. It's very close.
Okay. I'm probably going to go with Jonesy for longevity.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's 1 from 2, mate.
Yep, well done. Liam Jones, 84 to James Sicily, 69. Dinner for 2.
Did Liam Jones dip out of the game when the COVID restrictions double vax came in and then he came back in and set the world on fire again?
Yep, exactly.
That's an epic football story, isn't it?
Isn't it? They thought his career was done, essentially, and he did come back through the Bulldog system and
it's been epic too, really.
No, he's been very good.
If he played more consistently throughout the year, it was borderline All-Australian for mine.
Yep.
But if Harris Andrews misses out, geez, you can't make a case for Liam Jones, can you?
Well, it's actually a great point. I mean, that was rough on Harris Jones.
Oh, big time.
All right, Sydney and the GWS, the Battle of the Bridge. How do you see this?
Jeez, I can't. Yeah, I mean the Swans, they're deservedly on top of the ladder. 4 points are clear, but they had some stumbles late in the season. GWS, I thought they were very, very good. I did pick them in that game against the Bulldogs there at Ballarat a few weeks ago, which probably showed my overconfidence in them. But I think this is going to be really tight. And at $1.63 for the Swans, $2.70 for GWS. Again, overs for GWS for me.
Hugely.
I think the story of the game, and you might touch him in your best bets, but it's got to be Jesse Hogan, All-Australian. I'd love to see him on the big stage, just tear this game apart.
It'd be good to see, wasn't it? Like, the big thing for him is how Taylor's shaping up, I think.
Yeah, true.
Because that's going to be the matchup you would surely predict.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be an exciting matchup. There's no doubt about that. But, yeah, I don't know. I sniff an upset here. I think everyone's going to be keen on the Swans. I think GWS, they're fighting from some respect. And I think when these derbies occur, and even bigger in a final, I think they'll be keen to add some relevancy to their franchise and beat up the older brother.
Yep, I tend to agree with that. Even though, that said, I'm actually going to tip Sydney. I just, there's something about the Swans where they've been down, they've been out, they've had a week off like everybody else, but they have had that week off. I think they got something to prove. Yeah,
I think they do. I mean, if I was tipping, I'd tip the Swans. If I'm punting, I'm probably going with GWS with a 25, 30-point head start. I think it'll be a close game, and you've got a best bet here to mention as well this Monday.
I do, mate. I was taking Jesse Hogan 3+ at $1.95. He's just been too good this year, and he's obviously now an All-Australian full forward, absolute gun, and I want to see him do magnificently this Saturday night. So, 3+ Jesse Hogan at $1.95. And, mate, just got a quick trivia for you as well. Alrighty, it's another forward question. Who's kicked the most goals of all time in Battle of the Bridges? So games between Sydney and the GWS.
GWS haven't been in the league that long, so it's not like you can look at players going back many years.
Yep.
Buddy Franklin?
Dun dun. Yes, well done. 50 goals, Buddy Franklin.
It is, okay.
Yep.
It's hard to forget it, but it's sometimes easy to forget Buddy's no longer playing.
He's only been out of the game a year as well.
Yeah, I thought maybe Toby Green would be up there too, probably.
I remember going through the stats. Toby Green was in the top 5, I think, but he was nowhere near Buddy. Yeah. Nowhere near it at all,
He's got to lift Toby Green, actually.
Yeah.
For this game. I mean, if he's going to take them under the wing and carry him on the shoulders, he's going to kick a bag, I reckon, Toby Green, as well as Jesse Hogan to get over the line. So I'll be watching him closely too.
It's a good call. In these days of footy, you can't have one man kick all the goals. You need at least Green. If not, his offsider, who is a gun as well, who we talked about last week. What's his name? I'm too old. I've forgotten his name.
Down forward?
Yeah.
For G-Dubs?
Yeah.
Bedford? No. Lockie Ash?
No.
He's a backman. The little man, Brent Daniels.
Brent Daniels.
Yeah,
sorry,
the mercurial Brent Daniels.
See, this is what happens when you turn 42, mate. You can't remember things.
You told me it was your 30th on the weekend, mate. What's going on
there? I mean 32. See, that's what happens. You can't remember your age or anything.
No, you're around the mark, mate.
Thanks. I'll take it. Okay, Brisbane and Carlton. This is an interesting one.
Yeah. Again, probably similar to Hawks and Western Bulldogs. Hard to get a read on Carlton, isn't it?
It's very hard to get a read on Carlton. But that said, they've been the team that's been in the news all week, and mostly because of Sam Doherty, I suppose.
Oh, mate, what a story.
Yeah.
Doherty back. We saw the video clips there telling the team while they're all in the rehab pool there. Huge news. He's really the spiritual leader for me for Carlton.
Agree.
He's an inspiring person, an inspiring footballer, and 183 days after an ACL. I've done 4.
Have you?
ACLs,
I've done none.
Yeah,
so we've done 4 between us.
Yeah. Exactly.
What was your recovery time like on?
Mate, for me, 18 months. A little bit heavy upstairs coming back off those knee reconstructions and spending all that time in the gym. So it's super effort for him to get up over 183 days. And it kind of has that whole X Factor Pickett kind of Richmond feel about it where, you know, what's he going to bring? If he comes on as a sub at half time, the lift he's going to give his team just to see him out there, the cheer from the crowd. So, look, it's a great story. And as you said, mate, it's dominated media all week, hasn't it?
It really has. How was the footage of the Carlton Footy Club all in the spa together? It's a bit fruity,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is, isn't it? Yeah, they started doing cheering him on the shoulders, and I haven't been in many spars with 25 other blokes over the time. So no, it was a good story. But I think the interesting thing is Carlton beat the Lions in Brisbane earlier this year.
Yeah,
At full flight, and it's a repeat of last year's prelim final as well.
it is. I don't think Carlton can get it done. Personally, I just don't see a world with the form they've been in where they can make it work.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see the full list tonight. But there's a lot of unknowns, isn't there? Kerno's it's apparently coming back in. Mackay maybe not. McGovern apparently will be back, which will be really important because he'll have to go to one of those big forwards for Brisbane, McGovern. So, yeah, Blues at $3.64. Brizzy at $1.25. I've been a big Brisbane fan, but after they cost my multi a few weeks ago, they've been giving up some big leads, Brisbane, late.
They just can't kick.
Yeah.
They can kick sometimes, but then they can't other times. And the goals that they should just be icing.
Yeah.
Blokes like Danaher, who I love, ex-Bomber, he just can't get it done.
He's the leading example, isn't he?
Yep.
Lost my multi buff. I think I backed him by 25 or more. They won by 20 because they kicked about 8 points in the last quarter. So that's why I'm off them. But they should win, mate, at home, I think.
Yeah. All right. So for our trivia today, mate, it's the Battle of the Charlies. Who's kicked more goals, Charlie Cameron or Charlie Curnow?
Thinking out loud, Charlie Curnow had a lot of knee injuries and back injuries, was out of the game for quite a while. I reckon Charlie Cameron's been in the system a little bit longer and been a bit more consistent. But then Charlie Curnow kicks big bags, doesn't he?
He does.
Been at the top of the common. So I'm still actually going to go with the less obvious answer. I'm going to go the old motorbike man. Is it Charlie Cameron?
It is Charlie Cameron.
No.
392 to Curnow, only 280. So there's about 100 goal discrepancy there, which I guess is reflected in the fact that there has been a lot of injuries to Curnow. And also, Cameron played in the 2017 grand final for Adelaide against Richmond. So he's been in the system a bit longer for sure.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's fallen away a bit this year, actually, Charlie Cameron.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be an important player for him this weekend for sure.
He really will be. He really will be. When we're on the while we're on the topic of AFL, obviously the big talking point for us last week was Petrarca. Would he stay? Would he go? Looks as though he's going to stay at this point. But that said, it sparked our interest in the trade season, which is starting to really hype up a little bit, even before the finals have started. So,
yeah, you and I have been digging in, mate? We've been digging in this week in the trade news. It's changing every day. So I guess when you got no footy over the last 11 days, trade news tends to dominate media.
So true.
So we'll start with the Crows. Alex Neil-Bullen seeking a trade to the Crows from Melbourne.
Yep.
For personal reasons. Jack Lukosius from Gold Coast has also been told he's able to explore a deal. So he's been linked to go home to South Australia via the Crows or Port. And then a man who will be very important this weekend, Isaac Cumming from GWS, also rumoured to be exploring a move to the Crows.
Really?
So they seem like they're a bit of a destination club in a weird way. They're probably on the borderline of the finals, probably need a few pieces to be competitive. And then last but not least, Elliot Himmelberg has been keen to try and get to the Crows, hasn't he? Sorry, to GWS.
Oh, to join his brother?
To join his brother, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't happen last year, but didn't get much of a run this year for the Crows, so I don't think they'll be putting too many road barriers in the way for him to move on to join his brother there, mate.
I guess the Crows have probably got a bit of money as well, don't they? So they can afford to bring some players in. So that's interesting. It's an interesting watch for sure.
They're clearing a bit of money at the cap, and they'll have a few list changes this year. So, yeah, they'll be big players, and they need to be if they're going to remain around that finals mix, and they've just missed out the last couple of years, so they'll be keen to add some polish. What's up with the Lions, mate?
Been quiet so far, eh? I don't really know much. I think you're going to find that the Lions, Carlton, all the other 6 teams in the finals, they're going to be quiet till after they bow out. Like, you're not going to get a lot of trade news out of them. But then once they finish up for the year, that's when things will happen in Carlton.
And very quickly, generally, too. Like, straight off they bow out. So, I guess the big thing for the Lions is they're trying to bring Levi Ashcroft in, who is a father-son again. Brother of Will Ashcroft, who's just been unbelievable.
If he's half as good as Will, but he's touted to be better, it's going to be amazing for that club.
Oh, mate, it's like the Dacos brothers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Come in, change the side almost overnight. I feel like these two brothers have the opportunity to do that, but he's highly touted. They'll have to give a first-round pick for him under father-son, so I imagine other clubs will try and bid.
Yep.
Zorko, good news story. He's got one more year.
Good. He's been killing it this year.
He has, and I'm really excited to see him All-Australian as well. And then Jared Lyons, Ryan Lester, Jackson Pryor don't have deals at the moment. I think Lyons is probably and Leicester being the two big ones there. Jackson Pryor got towed up by Charlie Kerner, I think, round 1 and didn't play much this year.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, to be honest.
So, he'll probably be a bit of depth for another team. So, yeah, that's the Lions, mate, and then on to the Blues.
Oh, yeah. So what do you got here? There's a few rumours around the Blues already, which I think is interesting. Just I didn't think they'd be thinking about that sort of stuff yet. But anyway, the game's always on, isn't it?
Yeah. And they've got the window open well and truly there for the premiership, so they'll try and bring a few players in for some depth. They're looking at Nick Haynes from GWS and then looking obviously for other key position players to bolster their defence around Wiedering. Owies, Marchbank, Jack Martin without deals for next year. There's been some talk about Jack Martin potentially coming to WA. Too injured for mine.
And too erratic. He's good. He is good on the field, but then other times he goes missing.
Yeah, I think he was top 3 draft pick a few years ago.
He was, yeah. And Carlton paid a lot to get him across from the Gold Coast from memory.
Strapped up like, more tape on him than any other player in the league at the moment. So,
Juddy style.
Yeah, the trainers will be busy wherever he goes. And then Owies, obviously, he's a banker for the same game multis, isn't he? So he'd be the priority for them, I guess, to re-sign.
Yep, 100%. Now, the Pies are done. They're out of the finals. You have a lot listed here. It seems as though they've been very active so far.
Yeah, they have. They're always going to be. Noble's sick and tired of being in and out. I don't blame him.
Can't understand it. He's a very good player, Noble. He should be a walk-up start to the Pies team every week.
The only commentary I've ever heard about him is that he's not a great matchup for taller forwards. So he's a good sort of link-up, half-back player. He does all the scrappy stuff that you need to mop up down back, and I reckon that's where Collingwood struggled. So I'm surprised to see him not in the side as a regular. He wants to go to Gold Coast. To join Dimmer up there. There's a few people that we'll talk about that want to head up to the Gold Coast for the sun.
He's quite pale, though. I can't imagine him doing well at the Gold Coast, to be honest. I mean, talking from experience as a man who is very, very pale myself, I mean, the sun, it's not his friend.
You're actually not wrong there, mate. Yeah, you might have to apply the sunscreen and zinc there when he's at training. Joe Richards, who played a couple of games late in the season, he wants to go to Port Adelaide.
Fair.
And then, they've just been linked to a heap of players. They're looking at Mark Keane from Adelaide, James Peatling from GWS, Ben Hobbs from your mob at Essendon, and Gold Coast Alex Davies. So I think they're trying to extend their window. I think they know they're probably their bottom 4 or 5 are where they've been let down at the moment. They haven't got a lot of young talent they've drafted coming through. So they'll be very busy, I think, and they're going after key defenders mainly to support the likes of the big fella Darcy Moore.
Yep, fair play. They're always in the mix. Like, people always want to go to Collingwood because, let's be honest, they draw the big crowds.
Yeah, Lockie Schultz.
Lockie Schultz, exactly. You got him Pies got him from your mob last year. They do draw the big crowds, and I think that's a big carrot for a lot of players to go and play in those big games like Anzac Day and Queen's Birthday and all that.
Well, don't have to travel much either, do they? You can just stay at home with the fam most weeks.
I'd be annoyed with that, though. I like frequent flyer points. Just quietly. I like a bank.
Your missus would be happy, though, wouldn't she? You know, you're not going away every second weekend.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, so I wonder if the women have anything to do with those sorts of decisions.
That could be true. That could be very true. Mate, the Dons, what do you got for us there?
Matt Rose's first year as the list manager there at Essendon.
Yeah.
Former West Coast player. So, he's going to try and flex his muscles a bit, I reckon. They got some
Dodorio's gone. Like, completely gone.
He's been there for 15 odd years.
Yeah, and he was still kind of the director of list management or something like that. Anyway, he's gone, and Matt Rosa has the reins now.
Personally, I think they've got to make some changes. I've actually liked what's happened this week. Jake Stringer's come in demanding a 2 or 3 year deal. The coach has said, "No, mate, you can have one. Let's see how you perform. So if you want to chase, a couple more years, then you've got to kind of meet the standards a bit more, I think."
Yeah.
So he's put a few players on notice. Hobbs is keen to get out. Laverty's rumoured to be looking at other opportunities. But I think probably their younger list, like Harry Jones, I thought he was going to be anything when he first started.
He's had a good year, though.
He's been good. He's out of contract. I guess, are they looking to sort of shop him around a bit and see if they can get some trade value?
Ooh.
Setterfield, Wiedemann, they've been on the fringe. They're probably not going to be there next year, but they don't have deals at the moment. Mm-hmm. And then they're looking for some potency up forward. So small forwards are on the demand list for them. And there's not much being shopped around in terms of small forwards at the moment. So they might actually bring in a guy like Nathan Kruger for some forward depth.
Gotcha, from Collingwood.
Yeah, so he's been a fringe player for them too. So they'll be busy.
Yeah, they should be too. Hobbs is an interesting one. He's a very good prospect.
You rate him, don't you?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, you've talked about him a couple of times in potty this year.
He's good. I just don't know why he doesn't get a regular game over some of the other guys in that side. But anyway, his time will come hopefully in the red and black. I really, really hope they don't get rid of him.
Yeah.
That'd be a mistake.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's only 3 years in.
Yeah.
And he was a number 8 draft pick.
He's got a lot of scope. Yeah, I don't know. They've got to make some calls on those senior players to find room for him, mate. So Yeah, I hope he stays for your case too, mate.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, your boys Freo, what's going on there?
Plenty going on, mate.
Plenty going on.
Well, they stacked up the first round draft picks this year with the likes of Schultz and others leaving in recent seasons, and they're going to be very busy. They've got a raft of first round picks to negotiate with, and they're looking to bring experienced players in versus going to the draft, I think, at this stage.
Yep.
Notoriously, we've always brought in experienced players, Freo, to try and fill our holes and voids down forward. But this year, there's some good talent on the market. So Shea Bolton and Isaiah Pickett were linked. I think Pickett's less likely. Liam Baker was linked with the Dockers. I think he's probably more likely to go to West Coast, myself. Jack Martin also throwing a few fishing lines out there to see if Freo might be interested. Not sure if he's probably that small forward that we're looking for.
If you're
to
taking
replace.
Shai Bolton, you're not taking Jack Martin. They're,
they're
very similar players.
And Tom Emmett wants to get a bit more of a gig elsewhere, so he'll probably go to South Australia. I think Tommy Emmett.
Oh, is he from South Australia?
Yeah, I think he is in and out of the team. And obviously with Walters sort of coming on as a sub, if he's not getting a regular game, I actually think he's a player of some quality. Gives you good inside 50 forward pressure. So I think he'll be. I think he'll be on the move. But yeah, they're going to be busy, mate. I think if we can find a couple of players to either go off half back or provide a few more goals up forward, which has been our Achilles heel for many years, our scoring. We could be a completely different side next year.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there as well. Geelong, mate, they're obviously playing tonight. So it'd be interesting to see what they're thinking about their list at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, it is, mate. I think midfield's got to be their key area of development. So they've been talking about Bailey Smith.
He's going somewhere. He's not going to be at the Dogs next year.
He's going Geelong, I reckon. I reckon the deal's pretty much done for him. He's coming off an ACL, though, so it's always a bit of a risk. But when he's at his best, he's pretty good.
He's a gun. He's one of the best players in the league.
They sent him to half back at Western Bulldogs, and he didn't like that much. Wanted to be on the ball and be the man. So he'll be keen to get that done pretty soon for himself. And then, there's been a few rumours around the Cat circling around Jake Waterman.
Interesting.
Yeah. So all Australian. I think they're looking at life post Tom Hawkins. I reckon they're trying to bring in another big fella that can clunk him down there, mate.
I like it, but does Jake have a lot of motivation to leave West Coast at the moment? I know success is a big motivator, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like West Coast would be keen to keep him, absolutely. But when you've had an All-Australian year and you've kicked 50 plus goals and the money starts coming at you, ask Barras. That's true. He's been a player for West Coast for many years. He's on the move, so
that's true.
I think they've acknowledged that they're in a full rebuild mode. So there's some players that'll go, well, am I going to hang around here for 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Or do you get stitched up like Taranto and Hopper that went to Richmond thinking the window was open and now all the players want out? And now they're stuck to try and develop these younger guys. So
yeah, how bad's that?
So that's how it can go the other way. Dangerfield, Duncan and Stanley all out of contract. Dangerfield likely to go around again. Duncan and Stanley probably more likely to retire is what I'm hearing at the moment.
Interesting.
But yeah, Mitch Duncan, shout out to him. In my mind, one of WA's best exports, mate.
Yeah, he's actually highly underrated.
Hugely underrated.
He's been a pillar of that team for 15 years.
And came in as a young player, early 20-year-old, winning flags for them and playing a prominent role. So, yeah, he's been half-back, he's been in the middle, he's been on the wing. He can do it all. And, if he does choose to retire, quick shout-out to Mitchie, who's a WA boy and one we can hang our hat on for sure, buddy.
Love that. Hey, bit of movement around the Gold Coast Suns. It looks like they're bringing in some guns, essentially.
Yeah, they are, mate. Yep. They'll probably try and move on Lukosius, which will give them a bit of trade currency, and they'll probably use those picks, I think, to move people like Daniel Rioli, John Noble in. And, I think they had 60 listings yesterday, Gold Coast. The Dimmer's had 12 months, and, he's ready to move a few on.
Cleaning up shop. I like it. Lukosius is a very good player. I'm surprised they want to get rid of him, but I guess when you've sort of got a mix up there that works, maybe he doesn't fit in there anymore.
Yeah,
especially with Mac kicking a lot of goals, Mac Andrews.
I think he's fallen, exactly. Great shout. I think he's fallen behind the pecking order there. And you can see the frustration in the way he's playing the last few games. He was in and out of the team. He got dropped, I think, 3 weeks to go in the year. And came back in and they didn't find him on the lead a few times and he gave his teammates a bit of a spray. So he's clearly just wanting to get home, I think.
Yeah, you could be right there as well. He's a Vico boy, is he, or is he South Australian?
South Australian, I believe.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, I'm with you. I think he's got a huge upside. They just need to find someone a team that can kind of get him to his best and he can be the man and they stick with him.
100%. GWS obviously playing this weekend, so probably not a lot of decisions made yet, but they're making their plans.
Yeah, Himmelberg. Was the one they'll try and bring in, try to get it done last year. Adam Kennedy, Lockie Keefe and Braden Pruce all without contracts for next year. Braden Pruce was a bit of a funny one. I'm not sure if you saw it happen in the twos the previous week.
No, I missed it.
So Prucey, for those who don't know, Braden Pruce, big ruckman.
Right.
Big burly man anyway. Yeah. He's coming off a hamstring. He's run out in the field. He's done the old star jump, pinged a hammy before the game, 5 seconds in. He's done the old Gary. He's done the Gary Lyon in the warm-up.
Oh, that poor bugger.
Pinged a hammy, and obviously he would have been hoping that he could be a bit of depth if something happened in the finals for GWS, but couldn't even get on the park, mate. So yeah, Prusy, unlucky. But he'll be on the move, I reckon.
Damn. It seems to me like GWS are probably the one club across the league that don't really need to bring much in.
Nah, I think they're
You know what
set.
I mean?
They're pretty set. They just want to keep and retain their good players and not lose too many more of them to other teams.
Yep. Let's concentrate on young blood.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I reckon they got the right list. They're probably just that 5-10% off being a big premiership threat, but they could prove us wrong this weekend.
Since when have the Hawks become a destination club?
Oh,
Answer me that. I mean, this is out of nowhere. No one wanted to go there last year, and now every man and his dog wants to wear the poos and wees and be a Hawk.
Yeah, it's like it's the way they market themselves. It's the way they enjoy their footy, the brand of footy they play.
Looks like a lot of fun over there at the moment.
Well, it does, mate.
Very oval.
I'm not going to lie. Like, if you're a player and you're probably thinking, where do I want to head, and what is the team that has the most upside going forward?
Yeah.
Poos and wees, mate.
Yep. All the way.
Barras is going over there, as we know.
Yeah, do you reckon that deal's going to get done easily?
I think it'll get done. I think the Hawks are offering their first round pick 12, as part of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Barras. So I think West Coast would be stupid not to take it. They need to rebuild. They need first round draft pick. So Josh Battle also wants to go to the Hawks. And Perryman from the GWS, fringe player, also linked to the Hawks.
Right.
So they're still playing, but plenty of players have put their hand up and said, I want to go there. So, and then Wingard retires. So, yeah, mate. I think they could be big movers and shakers in the trade period. And if they can add Battle, Barras to their back line, which I spoke about as their weakness going into the game this weekend, I think, geez, they've got a pretty complete list. They'll
Massively.
be good for the next 5 years at least.
100%. Now, everyone wants to go to the Hawks. Everyone wants to leave the Ds. Petrarca apparently is staying now, so that's good news.
Yeah, it's a bit of a kumbaya, come to Jesus moment there for the team, I think, this week. They're caught up. Apparently, Maxi Gawn's establishment, wine bar there in Hawthorn, they've had a bit of a collective with the minds, not just the senior leaders.
Yep.
And they've sat down with Petrarca and said, look, let's mend some bridges. Let's get on with it. You're staying at the club and we understand what you're saying in terms of standards around the club, and let's try and get back to where we need to be, which is a successful team. So he's staying. Just feels like a waste of all that media, doesn't it, the last 2 weeks where everyone's talking about him going, and it was never going to get done, really.
Well, we had a week off, so there wasn't much going on, so I think we need a bit of a filler. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah, exactly. I know. We need something to talk about, don't we? Alex Neil-Bullen, Pickett on the way out. Tom Lynch and Waterman also linked with Melbourne.
Interesting. It feels like Tom Lynch is going to go somewhere. He's not going to be at Richmond. Where it is, it's hard to say at this point, but it definitely feels on the cards.
Just can't get on the park.
Nah, he's a gun when he's on there.
Oh, mate, he's good for 2-3 goals a game.
Yeah.
But, hasn't played enough footy, and I think if you're desperate for a forward, couldn't be any harm done in getting Lynch over if you don't pay much for him to be a bit of cover there for you down forward.
You do worse, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
North Melbourne.
North, yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Clarkson came out a few weeks ago and said it was disrespectful to talk about players in contract on the
Yeah.
radio, and then the next segment identified 5 senior players that he'd love to get in. So he talked about Luke Parker, Ollie Wines, Callan Ward. He's looking for guys that are, probably 30-plus-year-olds like a Liam Shields mould that can come in and help those younger players.
2 years left and sort of can finish off their career type thing.
Yeah, I reckon. And yeah, if you're going to throw some decent money at those guys, they're one club players, Luke Parker, Wines and Ward, but if they didn't have a deal in front of them, they probably would entertain it. Greenwood's retired, the former Perth Wildcat. Shout out to Levi.
Oh, yeah. Has he retired?
He has.
Oh,
Yep.
I like him.
Yeah,
I thought he was a good player.
Hugh, sorry, not Levi. I went with the old North Melbourne player there.
Yeah. No,
Greenwood.
Hugh, he was great. And the thing is, he never quite reached his potential. He always looked like he could have been anything, and he never quite just hit that next level.
Yeah, he didn't really. Also, was rumoured to knock out one of the North Melbourne players this year. One of the young fellas at training we spoke about earlier in the pod, you remember? So,
yeah.
So that might not have...
Probably didn't help his cause.
Nah. But yeah, a bit of a freak going from being in the Boomer squad to playing in AFL list. Don't think many have done that.
No.
And then Jack Darling, a man who has had a lot of scrutiny recent years. He's being apparently offered a multi-year deal.
First I've heard of this.
Yeah, so that's breaking news like yesterday.
Hello.
And yeah, I reckon if you can get 3 years...
I think he'd be mad not to do it.
I think he probably should take it.
Yep, especially with West Coast having Oscar Allen and we think still Waterman. He doesn't fit as
Jack
much
Williams
anymore.
too coming through.
Yeah.
I think Jack Williams has overtaken him in terms of the first 18 chosen.
Yep. I think that would be a good result for everyone involved, actually.
Yeah, I think so too, mate. And geez, you feel sorry for the big fella down there in Nick Larkey for North Melbourne, who doesn't have a lot of support in terms of key forward. So it's a win-win for both clubs, I think.
Having two twin towers down there would be very nice.
Absolutely.
All right, Port Adelaide, they're playing this weekend. So what are they looking at doing?
Not much, mate. Obviously, there hasn't been a ton of rumours around them. Dan Houston squashed any trade rumours. He's staying.
Oh, that was a big story that he was going to be on his way.
Again, just
some way or
comes
another.
out in the media and says I'm a one-club player. Doesn't leave any speculation. Just trying to get the deal done.
Love it.
So, yeah, good on him.
Good. I like that.
Maybe not good for his
Decisive.
negotiation powers, but all the best there, Dan. And, just obviously Lukosius linked with Adelaide, so he might go back there. He might choose Port or Adelaide, but he's linked with Rosie, who's one of his best mates, so that's an interesting one.
Like Melbourne, Richmond seem to be that team that looking at mass exodus as well. What do you know about these guys?
Oh, they're just going to rebuild entirely. I think they're doing what West Coast should have done 3 years ago.
Yep, gotcha.
Get your players to trade currency out. They're not going to play in your next premiership.
Yep.
Load up on your first round, second, third round draft picks this year.
Yep.
Tasmania are coming. Get as many quality players into that list at the right age profile that in 4 or 5 years' time will take you to your next premiership. There's no point playing guys 29, 30 that aren't going to play in your next premiership.
Yeah.
Trade them out while you can.
Yep.
So Bolton, Baker, Rioli, all these guys should attract, in my mind, first, second round draft picks. Jack Graham's going to go to the Eagles as an unrestricted free agent. He'll walk. Dylan Presti is signed again, but they need to go hard here. This is their time. Jack Rewalt's come out and said best thing they can do is trade them all on and load up.
Makes sense, doesn't it? And you can just learn from West Coast. Seriously,
Yeah, you have
they're
to.
doing that now. They left it a little bit too late, and it's gone all awry. They're going to have
Yeah.
7 years down the bottom rather than 4.
Big
So,
difference what you get for Jack Darling now versus Jack Darling 3 or 4 years ago.
Exactly right.
Great
so
example.
at least Richmond are noticing that and going, all right, let's just take the pain, and it might be good for our long-term future. All right, mate, let's move on to St Kilda.
Night flags.
No flags. One flag. Night flags.
Night flags. Josh Battle on the move. They're looking at Adam Tomlinson from the Ds to bring in that backline cover once he goes.
Yep.
Laverde is also a big target for St Kilda. And Dylan Shield also linked with St Kilda as well. They went after McCluggage last year as a midfielder, so they're looking to bring some midfield depth in,
Yep.
which is probably where they're getting beaten at the moment.
They were
And
trying to
then,
get Shield last year in the
yeah.
trade period, so maybe they'll be more successful this time around.
Yeah, they've had crack at some big names. Luke Davies-Uniacke as well, 2 years ago as well.
Oh,
St
yeah.
Kilda, they put a big bid in for him. And then Mason Wood and Tim Membry, unrestricted free agents.
Interesting.
I think both very important players to their list.
Yeah.
So Ross Lyon's already listed 5, and he's got 15 players out of contract in total. So I reckon he's going to churn that list over quite significantly.
You wouldn't be letting Wood go, would you?
Oh, hell no.
Nah.
No. But can play down back, can play down forward, left footer, crafty, always good for a couple of goals a game or at least one. So
Yeah.
I'd be keeping him for sure.
Last 2 years, I should say, very good. Now, the Sydney Swans, they're still playing. They're on top of the ladder. A destination club, always.
Yeah, retention mode for them.
Boom. Retention mode.
Logan Donald, Hayward already signing on. Luke Parker. I feel sorry for Luke Parker. In and out of that team, we've given him a huge rap this year. When he's come in, he's been great. He's looking to extend his career. He's only 31.
But the form he's been in the last 3 weeks of the season, 4 weeks of the season, has been pretty elite. You're not letting him walk out the door.
Well, I don't think
without
so.
a
But
good
why are you
reason.
playing him enough? That's the thing, you know. I know he's injured, but geez, like clubs are sniffing around him big time.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot of scope left. So I'm always surprised if he stays a one club player, but if there's big dollars thrown in front of him again, it's a decision he's going to have to make.
I think he's proved his point. They're not going to be putting him out of that team anytime soon.
Don't think so, mate. Don't think so.
Mate, we've got 2 to go on the trade front. So we've got the West Coast Eagles, then the Western Bulldogs. What do you know about these 2?
Yeah, Tom Barras has nominated Hawthorn. They'll be looking to get a first round draft pick for him, and then they'll probably look to trade, you know, some of those picks around to get Breaker into the team.
Mm-hmm.
Graham's going to walk to them, so that's fine. And they're also looking at Riley Garcia from the Western Bulldogs, who's a WA boy and out of contract. I think he's actually a really decent player, so that'd be good for them to try and get a bit more of that more experienced player into that list. And then Brockman, Witherden, True, Jermaine Jones, all out of contract. I actually thought Zane True was okay, serviceable in a couple of games, but they'll be keen to, obviously to make some bigger changes in their list, I think, again, West Coast.
Yeah, if they've got the opportunity, you'd potentially look at moving all of them on. Except for Brockman, who's only been there a year, so he must have signed a year's deal, did he?
Yeah, I think so. Injured.
Yeah.
Injured. So, haven't seen the best of him. I think he's got a lot of upside. So, I was surprised if they re-sign him.
Interesting. The Doggies, again, obviously playing this weekend. Bailey Smith is the big one around there.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't missed him. They've moved on from him, essentially. Their midfield's still stacked. So it's one guy that they're going to let go, I would assume.
I think so, mate. Yeah, I think you're right. As long as they get like a late first-round draft pick or something for them, they'll be happy to move him on.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Daniel and McRae couldn't find a regular spot in their list. They're set to leave the kennel.
I don't get it.
I don't really understand it with Caleb Daniel in particular.
Yeah, and McRae. He's a gun.
He racks them up, but obviously Beverages, he's out of favour with the coach, isn't he?
Out of favour. Don't know what's happened there, but anyway, I'd have him at Essendon.
And Rory,
any day of the week.
100%, mate. I think he racks them up. So you can set him. He's a good left footer. You can run some play through him, and he's quite crafty in the way he goes about things. So I think he's got currency. And then Rory Lobb looks set to go. Looks like he will stay now.
That's been a turnaround because mid-season he essentially said, I'm out. I'm going to be looking for my fourth club. Bevo put him up back, and it's just been a revelation, not only for his career but for the club. He has been great down there. That's all you can say about him.
He has, mate. Yeah, he made the same. He almost made the same move there mid-season at the Western Bulldogs when they brought the guy in the midfield with the red hair.
Richards? Ed Richards?
Ed Richards. Rory Lobb went back, different looking side in almost a week by week proposition. They've also got JJ Johannesson. He's out of contract. Garcia, rumoured to go to Perth. Buku Karmas, who we've really liked the last few weeks. Alex Keith, the former T20 cricketer. And Taylor Duray out of contract. So, there's a bit of list changes to occur there too.
Bit of movement, but they're still strong as hell.
Hell yeah.
Hey, mate, let's move on to Risto's roast right now. So, have you seen anything this week that's made you angry, that's got you fired up, got you ready to roll?
Yeah, I have, mate. I'm always looking for things.
Yeah.
It seems like when there's
That's the way to go. Just look for things that make you angry. Get through life angry. That's Risto's mandate, life mandate.
When it comes to trying to whittle it down to one thing, that's probably the hardest part of the roast each week. But, mate, we really enjoyed the last round, didn't we, AFL?
Yeah, it was great.
Last day,
was excellent.
last game of the last round, we're on the edge of our seats. No one knew what was going to happen. What happens after that, mate? We go into absolutely no footy for 11 days.
The worst.
All we're going to talk about is trade chat and, where Petrarca might be going. The AFL had us primed. We're on the platter.
Yep.
AFL Final 8 came down to the last game, the last round. You had the momentum. You had all the countries I was watching. And we were just enthralled in the entire finish of it, weren't we?
We were.
We then come down off that high of the last round to absolutely no real intense football the week after.
Yep.
There's only so much trade talk a man can digest. I even had to resort to mowing the lawn, watching the NRL, just trying to get my sporting fix somehow, So we get the teams need to rest. We get you've had an extra round to the season now, and it's becoming a bit fatiguing for some players. But no finals, in the round after the season finish, it ruins the joy, mate.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't too stoked with that. Last opportunity, a week of no footy. You surely put the Brownlow on, wouldn't you?
You could actually. You actually could.
You should.
Do you know what the good thing about that? And sorry, I'm overtaking you.
No, mate. Tee off.
If there's interstate teams in the grand final, sometimes they're favourites in the Brownlow medal. Like, let's say Lachie Neale, for example, can't attend the actual count because he's doing stuff in Brizzy, training in that. They did it this week.
Yep.
There's none of that. It doesn't matter.
Well, we don't want to see players in video link, do we?
No.
States, get them the Brownlow. It's going to be
COVID anymore.
Night. Exactly. Mate, no, exactly. You've just added even more reason to fire me up.
Yeah.
So we don't know many other sports that do this. So why are we so unique? I understand the AFLW is kicking off. I think they can still run in conjunction. And then just on top of that, mate, we love a Thursday night footy, don't we?
Love it.
Love it. AFL, you launch at the start of the year. We love a four-day weekend of football. You then abandon the concept for the majority of the year. And then you bring it back for the most important deciding games of the year in the finals.
And thin our weekends out.
I mean, why do you abandon it and then bring it back when it's really important at the end of the year if it's not a great concept? It's confusing. AFL fan don't like it. Where's the consistency? Keep the season rolling on and bring back Thursday night footy. Listen and connect to the fans, AFL. That's what we want. Give us what we want.
And there it is, the steam coming out of his ears.
Be
It's
all over.
subsided a bit now.
Once I watch a footy tonight, it'll be a distant memory. I'm not happy about it, mate.
Yeah, but I love Thursday night footy. They should keep it going all year round. That's just my personal opinion.
100%.
All right, let's move on to heroes of the week. We're going from angry to a little bit more happy. So, Mariah, take it away. Oh, yeah. It's pretty stacked this week, to be honest with you, Nico.
Tough
There is a
list.
lot of heroes. I've got 4 here. I got 4. All right, so we're going to start off with Oscar Piastri.
Yep.
Man, what a gun. And I tell you what, I said to you that he was going to place at least in the last Grand Prix at Monza. He came second. He beat his teammate, Lando Norris. He's only young. He's probably still only 21 years old, and he is killing it. He's going to be a world champion. He is a hero.
Get around him.
Yes.
He's the future of the Australian sport, isn't he?
He's the future of the sport, not just the Aussie leg of it.
Incredible, mate. Yeah,
Mate.
no, and he got your bet up too, so.
And he got the bet up. So that makes him
Here
heroic.
he goes in.
Yeah.
Love that from you.
Hey, it's fair, though. It's fair.
100%. Everyone's talking about him.
Yeah, they are.
Even people from that don't follow the sport regularly.
Yep.
He seems to be on everyone's lips. So, great shout from yourself there, mate.
Love that.
Good way to start.
All right, so the wheelchair rugby team. Have you seen this?
I've seen a few
Paralympics.
highlights. Yeah.
I actually, last Sunday, I flicked the TV on
Mm.
and it happened to be on Channel 9. We were playing the Paralympics and the wheelchair rugby between Australia and Japan was on. So this is the game to decide whether the teams go into the gold medal game or they go into the bronze medal game. Australia lost in the end, but I tell you what, it was amazing to watch. From the moment I turned it on, sat on that couch and started viewing, I could not stop. I went to bed late. I went into overtime. It was 47-46 for a lot of it. Then Japan got it to 47-47. Then they went on to win it. Mate, it is great.
High
we need
scoring,
more of
isn't it?
this.
It's entertaining, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. High scoring, easy to understand.
Yep.
Like, as a guy who'd never watched it before, I knew it was going on in a couple of minutes.
Yep.
And it's cool. Like, these guys are serious athletes. It's very, very, very
And
inspirational.
the
what they
Aussies
do.
are always at a pretty high level too, there, aren't they?
Yeah, we've got the best
Which
player
are
in the
them.
world.
Definitely got to be, despite the loss, definitely the heroes of the week, mate.
Heroes of the week, not just the Aussie team, but I guess the league or
Yep.
all the teams as a collective. They were amazing. Hey, I'm going to finish off as well. I did have a Jake Kelly thing, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have all the stats in front of me and I can't remember how to say them. So we're just going to move on from Jake Kelly.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 one?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
yeah,
0. Google it. It's a pretty cool
Yeah, it's a
stat.
cracker. Get onto it.
He's not really a hero for it because it was blind luck, to be fair. But, it was cool. So I was going to put him in there. Google it if you want to see it. Jake Kelly retirement stat. Finally, though, this has just happened overnight. Travis Head and Mitch Marshall have... Mitch Marshall, God.
Todd Marshall, you thinking of in tonight's
Yeah,
game?
clearly. Mitch Marshall. No, Mitch Marsh. Mitch Marsh.
The Bison.
The Bison. He's clubbed a world record 2020 international power play score. This was huge, mate. They've smacked out, what was it again? It was 113 in 6 overs, taking over South Africa's record of 102 in a 6-over power play.
Crazy.
Sorry for all my slurring. I did the Brekkie show this morning. I've been talking all day, so I'm doing my best here. So basically, they overtook Scotland's score in 9 overs. They had 9 for 154, which is decent in 2020s. Not huge, but decent. And they've just gone, thank you very much. Travis Head, 80 off 25. Mitch Marsh, 39 off 12. Got the job done, broken a world record, and you love to see it.
How fun would that be? Just walking out chasing a small total as the open, just going absolutely mental. 39 from 12, Mitch Marsh.
He's like-
25 balls for 80 for Head.
Yeah, Mitchie's like,
That's
I got to be at the pub.
ridiculous.
Let's get this done, Trav.
First time they played in Scotland too.
Is it the first time they played in Scotland? There you go, good
the
stat.
Scottish fans have got a real treat there.
Yeah.
Game over in about an hour and a bit. Sorry, you can get a refund on partial of your tickets there, Scottish fans.
I haven't been to Scotland, but good pubs over there, so I suppose that was Mitch and Trav's mandate. That's what they wanted to do.
So, mate, I think so. No, that's incredible, isn't it?
So that was Heroes of the Week. We've done Risto's roast. I think it's time to move on to this week's bets.
It's been going off, hasn't it?
It's been going off. We've got a lot to get through as far as listeners' bets. Do you want to start off? Let's start off with the NFL because we've been talking this up. It starts this weekend.
It does.
And you've recruited an expert to give us a multi for the NFL.
I have, mate. Yeah. Over in Melbourne, there was a bunch of guys in the extended circle of friends who were very, very keen on the NFL fantasy.
I hear you were holding auditions as to who was going to give the multi over.
Well, I was, mate. Yeah, look, I was. It was a very strict selection criteria, which involved a bunch of guys throwing NFL multis at me and me asking them for justification as to why they're good. And then in my lack of expert knowledge in NFL, I've chosen, I think, the best person for the job.
Right.
His name is Lockie Collins.
And he paid you the most.
He did.
Thank you, Lockie.
Took some props. No, he was, I know the man. I can vouch for him. He's a big NFL fantasy man.
Love this.
On our WhatsApp group, he does often talk about his NFL tips, and I've seen a few winning bet slips in there too. So
interesting.
He's given us a multi. And, we can all take on the 30-1 multis, mate, but I like him in that hitting zone, sort of $4 to $6.
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
And he's given us I reckon he's given us an absolute pearler here.
Hello.
The Dolphins to beat the Jaguars at home.
Love it.
The Bengals to beat the Patriots at home.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat Washington Commanders.
Yep.
So all head-to-head so far.
Love this.
And Seattle Seahawks to beat the Broncos.
Yep.
With Tab Touch, 4-leg multi, 10% multi boost, you're getting $4.50.
Love that.
So I like that sort of 4 to 50. So we'll be following Lockie very keenly this weekend as the NFL kicks off. And I think depending on how we all go here, this might become a regular feature.
Okay, no pressure there, Lockie. you got to get this, or at least get 3 of for Nick to be confident to go with you again.
I'm going to stick with him.
But I like it. Do you have an NFL team?
I don't, mate. No, I don't at all, actually. So I'm going to have to try and get right around it this year.
Yeah.
And I've got the right blokes in the WhatsApp group to guide me in the right direction.
I almost went for the Miami Dolphins. I was liking the feel of them, but my good buddy Alex Massey goes for the Steelers.
Yeah, okay.
And I wanted to get around it with him, so I had someone to actually go with. So when I say go with, as far as like talk to about it. And so I've gone with the Steelers. That could be open to manipulation, though. I could still move clubs at this point. We'll see how they go this year.
Are Steelers good? Are you bandwagoning there? Or you...
No, mid.
Yeah.
No, I'm not bandwagoning.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a good thing.
You stick with them. All right, then. Well, interested to hear pitch for the Steelers, mate. I'm still up for grabs, so.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, my pitch is that Alex likes them.
Okay.
That's all I got so far. All right. Tones Hot Finals footy tip.
Yeah.
So the Tones have been giving us a lot of EPL gear lately.
Yeah, he's changed it up.
He's changing it up. EPL are on a break apparently, so he said
he's only one leg off last week, Tone. So
I know
he's been in reasonable nick.
Yeah, he's been in very, very good form. If he could get us a win, that would even be better. So we'll run with his tip for this week. Port Adelaide head to head.
Yep.
He's a doggies man, so he's gone the Bulldogs head to head.
Against you.
Yep. Against me, yes. I don't know if I'm going to take his tip then. We'll think about that. Hogan 3+, agree, and Sam Walsh 30+ in the posse category.
He's going to have to towel him up, Walshy.
Yeah, he does right. What's he been averaging this year? I can't actually remember.
25-ish.
Yeah, he's usually good for 25.
Yeah, but not unlikely for him to get 30. I wouldn't have thought.
No.
He's going to have to for them to win. So.
All right, Tone. He hasn't given me an actual price on that. I'm going to say it's probably in that $4 to $5 mark, though.
Yeah, potentially a little bit more, actually, because Jesse Hogan was $2.
Yeah.
He's your best bet. Walshy for 30+, probably $1.50. Dogs, yeah, probably $5, $6, man.
Okay, I like that.
Again, in the hitting zone, isn't it?
That's very much in the hitting zone. I love it, Tone. And finally, this week, we've got Liam McLaughlin at Belmont. You can go through this one if you want.
Yeah, well, Liam, he gave us Falcon Trader a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
I think it was a bit unlucky. So he's gone with a few roughies this week. So there's a feature there at Belmont. The odds aren't quite up yet when he sent this through, but race 3, number 4, Arcadia Park, into race 5, number 4, Deferred.
Yep.
Are the 2 tips there. Race 3, Arcadia Park, race 5, Deferred.
So he's multiing those 2. All right.
Yeah, he's saying have them into each other, which is an all-up bet or a multi.
Like it.
And then have something on River Rubicon, which is horse number 4, at $14 in the Farnley Stakes, which is the stakes race there on Saturday and the feature. So there's a whole lot of 4s in that one, isn't there?
There really is.
There's really a theme. So race 5, number 4, Deferred. Race 3, number 4, Arcadia Park. And horse number 4 in the main race, the Swan Draft Farnley, is River Rubicon, which is $14.
I like it.
Yeah, a bit of value, mate. You just need one of them to get up and you're well in front.
100%. Before we move on, actually, Belmont, when do we swap across to Ascot? It must have a few more weeks to go
About
at
a
least.
month to go yet.
About a month.
Been working a little bit with the guys at Perth Racing. They're gearing up. Obviously, Pinnacles kicks off November, but there'll be some good racing heading there in the next few weeks, mate. So
beautiful. So we stick with Belmont through September, then move to Ascot from there.
Yeah, I think it's the middle of October. So yeah, still a few weeks to go yet. But
beautiful.
Racing's getting better and better every week. So get down if you haven't seen anything at Belmont in recent times. The weather's getting better and the horses are getting better.
Yep, and I reckon it's such a good location there next to Optus Stadium. It's easy to get to. Belmont's a good track. I like it.
Yeah, you'd be spending a bit of time down there at work this year, mate.
Yeah, I've spent a bit down there. Yeah.
Mr. Belmont, the Mayor of Belmont over here, mate.
Mayor of Belmont. I'm going to clean this place up.
So your tips, mate.
You want to go with me?
Yeah, because you won.
Yeah, true.
I was evens, you were up, and I think just set us off on fire here again, mate.
So we're going the opposite
double
of
up.
a pool game. Yeah, where it's mugs away.
I don't want to go mugs away, mate. I want to see what you've got for us.
All right. I'll stack 'em, you whack 'em.
Exactly.
So this week I found it hard to stick to a big bet. You know, I've gone 5 $20 bets.
Yep.
Just throwing it out there. So first up, which you will probably talk about as well, I'm going the tipsters pick on Tab Touch.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Libba to get 25 plus.
Yep.
Then Sam, Darcy and Chol to combine for 4. So that's in the same game on Friday night.
Yep.
It's a $5 price on it. Originally $4. So it's got the Tab Touch price boost on there.
That's ridiculously good.
$20. I like it. Libba should get 25. Darcy's going to kick a couple. Chol's going to kick a couple. It's money in the bank.
It definitely feels that way on face value, doesn't it?
It feels like that Sydney to win and Hawthorn and Geelong to both win by 40 in the last round of the season.
Yeah.
It's one that you can kind of bank on a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and we do like these too. They just keep the bounce ticking over, don't they?
Yep, they certainly do. And you could almost call this a bit of, I don't know if it's an insurance bet or just silly, because one of my multis is going to have to lose here. So I'm going to take Tone's AFL tip at $20.
Yep.
So he had Port Adelaide and Western Bulldogs both head-to-head, Hogan for 3+ and Sam Walsh for 30.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've got a multi of my own, which is Port, Hawks, Swans and Lions.
Ooh.
So I'm taking that Hawks and Western Bulldogs sort of clash. Yep. That's paying $7.16, $20 on it. So I think that's going to counteract anything else I miss out on there.
Yeah, exactly. Hedge.
Yeah, hedge it. Shorty's tip, which you're going to speak about in a minute, but that's a multi including Port, Butters and Georgiadas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put $20 on it, but I'll let you expand on it.
Yep.
And do you know what? I'm going for some futures here. I'm putting Zach Merrett as Brownlow winner, $26 at the moment. I'm going to chuck a 20 on it.
Wow. Why not, mate?
I wanted Merrett for top 3, but I couldn't find the market for it yet. So I thought, you know what?
A few days before, does it? Yeah.
A few days before. Okay, so I'm going for the win at the moment.
Why not, mate?
I'm going for a scattergun style of betting this week. Something's got to get up.
Well, that's it. If you get one of those up, even if you get the tipsters pick up, you're basically evens.
Exactly right.
So that's the way you're kind of playing it. You've then got $80 on a myriad of 4 other bets, and any of those get up, then you're well in the old black, mate.
Given my 2024 form, they'll all lose. But anyway.
No, mate, I don't know. When you're hot, mate. Back yourself in, all right?
Yeah, hot. I love it. What are you getting on this week?
I'm taking Locko's multi. So you've taken Tones's.
Yep.
And I think you've got to back the punters in.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Dolphins to beat the Jags at home.
Yep.
NFL. Bengals to beat the Patriots.
Love it.
Tampa Bay to beat Washington. Seattle to beat the Broncos. $4.50.
Beautiful.
$20 on there for a $90 return. I'm going to go to the racing again.
Yeah.
I'm not getting gun shy. I was around the mark last week, so I'm still feeling pretty confident, mate. So there's a horse called I Wish I Win that the whole bloody racing community should know by now. Okay. It goes in the Concord Stakes at Randwick.
Yep.
I'm taking my $40 bonus bet from Mr. B last week.
Oh, good.
And I'm just going to plunge it on at $2.75.
Creative.
So $110.
You wish you win, sir.
So, yeah, and it's a quality horse. It's a short race. It's a sprint race, so it'll be interesting to see if it can get the chockies. But it's got a great record, and I think it's a quality horse in the race. There's a few up and comers there, but it's been there, done it in the biggest stage, so I think it should win.
Love it,
and I think it'll come in significantly before the jump on the weekend. So I'm taking the $2.75 there.
Boom.
And then last one, mate, is Shorty's multi. So I got 20 on the NFL, 40 on the racing, and then that leaves me with a little bit of cash to splash out.
Oh, hello.
So Shorty's multi is Port to win, Butters 25 plus, and Georgiades 2 goals at $3.50.
Beautiful.
Which is $70 return.
Love it.
And then, yeah, mate, if that all gets up, it'll be $270 and then $170 profit. Full salute.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, I see how we go, mate. But yeah, we've got a few bets on, don't we?
We certainly do. And I've been sort of thinking about a slogan for us.
Yeah.
What about something like "May the punting gods be with you"?
Yeah, I mind that.
Maybe we can workshop it.
Yeah, I think we can workshop it, mate. It's better than my old nickname. Nick lost a bit. Yeah, they're in Melbourne, trying to back roughies in the old racing back in the day. But no, I like that, mate.
Nick lost
trending.
A bit. All right,
While we're talking about lost a bit, if you just make sure when you're having your punts out the weekend, you're doing it responsibly too, mate.
That's a very good.
That's
a very good.
Let's not go crazy with it. Just have a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, may the punting gods be with you, mate.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
All right, let's get out of here. You can check us out on the socials, stream us as well. Punt Pals Podcast. I'm Robbie Vaughn. This is Nick Aristovic. See ya. Sports with our expert experience from football fields to courtside drills. Punt Pals Podcast, we pay the bills.